Hey folks, one of the videos that I got a lot of suggestions to do was a video talking about some of the first DVDs I got, like what the first ones were and the story behind how I got the DVDs. I can only really remember two, which were the first two that I got when I bought the player. And the first one I bought because it was one of the first DVDs that had a bunch of features. I mean, like it had the documentary and things like that, and I wanted to see like what features were like. I remember this. And this was the Lethal Weapon 4, which was an alright film. I have another set of this now with all four of them, but this was the first one I remember buying, and as well as Willy Wonka on DVD. This was the second DVD I had that same day when I bought the player, and I remember the actual getting the player. I remember I didn't get the DVD exactly when it came out. I got it, I think, in April of 1998. I thought it was 97, but then I realized, looking at the date of this Lethal Weapon, it was 98. It was a long time ago. I have video somewhere. I'll have to see if I find it. I'll just put it on the film it off the TV and show you. And I think it goes by some of the first DVDs I had. And if I find that, I'll put that after this. But I remember going in Suncoast and first seeing them, wondering what the hell they were. Because I saw, as a kid, Laserdiscs, what's flopped out. And I never bought that. I only had VHS. Then I started seeing DVDs and wondering, like, what the hell are these? At the same time, my dad's like, you don't want to get them yet because there's another thing out now called DivX, which was that other kind of DVD that was at Circuit City, I believe, that there was a format war that a lot of people don't remember between DivX and DVD. DivX was like something like, I don't remember how it worked. It was a different kind of disc or something. I never got anything. I never bought it, so I don't remember. But it was the big thing then. It was a little bit like the HD and Blu-ray now. Which one will they go with, DivX or that? And they ultimately went with DVD. And after they pretty much figured that out, I bought. Oh, I remember what the first ever DVD I bought was Pecker. I bought that like 1 or 2 months before the DVD came out because I think John Waters was signing and I wanted to have him sign it, something like that. And then I had my dad's friend who did the pictures in that movie sign it as well. But I think that was exactly the first ever DVD I bought. And then these I bought when I bought the player. But I eventually, when I saw Suncoast, I looked at them. They were really expensive at first, like $30, I believe. It was pretty much like what Blu-rays and HD cost now. But I eventually finally got the player. And then after I got the player, I quit with VHS. Because, just over the last few days ago, I threw away a ton of VHS. It was hard to do it, but I realized they were taking up a lot of space, and I have to just face facts that they flopped out. Nobody wants them anymore, and I tried to sell them at a store. They said, we don't take VHS anymore. It was one of those pre-played places, so I figured, screw it. I don't need to keep them anymore. I don't need to keep the space. I've got most of them on DVD, so now I'm sticking with just DVD. The only VHS I ever buy anymore is like things like the Peanut Butter Solution, the Buttercream Gang. I think that's on DVD, but a lot of weirder things that I find, then I burn my own DVDs of them and make copies, and I have to fix the tracking on most of them because they're all so screwed up. But I hope this gives you a slight idea of getting them. I remember getting, another one of the early ones I remember getting was the Ravenous DVD. That's another early one I can remember. But like I said, if I can find that thing at the that video, I'll show you that at the end. Just trying to think if I can remember anything else. I know I was like one of the first people I knew, though, who had it. About a year after I got it, I know MJ got his. Who's my friend of mine who plays Murph in the Don Murph Show. He got his like a year or so after mine. But I was one of the first people, because I remember when they first came out, like at Blockbuster and Suncoast and everything, they'd have this tiny little section. And all these tapes still. And I've watched throughout the years. About 2 or 3 years after DVD came out, they started to become more. And then about by 2002, was it VHSs were totally phasing out. You didn't see them at all anymore. They had a little tiny section. Now if you go, even Blockbuster, they have none anymore. I don't know if any video stores, except for mom and pop ones, rent VHS anymore. Because there just seems to be no interest in them anymore. They've become, in many ways, the most worthless thing in the entire world. And it's kind of weird to see that happen to something that no one wants at all. I used to sell them at flea markets years ago when I was younger. I used to go take VHSs when they were still popular to flea markets. So I used to sell every one. I'd have probably 150. Most of those ones I sold I wish I kept because they were all good things. But I would sell them, and I would get like $4 for each of them. Decent prices. I remember I knew VHSs were gone when I took them probably 3-4 years ago to the flea market. They just sat there. Nobody bought them. Nobody wanted them. They just kept sitting there. And I knew that was the end of it. And I'm sure one day we're going to see DVD when Blu-ray and HD fully take over. I predict one of the two will in 6 years from now. It's going to take a while. It's not going to be quick. But one of these days you're going to see no more DVDs. Which, the thing is, I have so many DVDs, I am not going to rebuy them all in HD and Blu-ray. I'm only going to buy the ones that really look different. And you can't buy every one unless they come down to a real low price. Because if you think about it, certain shows, like things like Married with Children, if that came to Blu-ray, what the hell would be the advantage for the picture? Those were shot with like old Betamax cameras. I mean, you're not going to get any difference from them. The only thing they're going to be able to do is fit the entire season on one disc. That's pretty much the only difference you're going to see. Some movies really clean up well on it, but then some of them, when you compare the two, you're like, oh, I think this looks different. Then I look at them and compare them, they look the same. The only ones I've noticed that look really different are the newest movies. Those are really cleaned up well. So I hope this gives you an idea of some of the first ones. If like I said, if I can find that video, that'll be up after this. And thanks for everyone who suggested this video. There's a lot of suggestions for this, and a lot of people said do this one. So thanks to everyone who watched, and thanks for all these new subscribers that we keep getting. It's great to see how many new people are watching, because we started out like 2 months ago, it was like 130. Now it's up to over 400. So thanks to everybody, and thanks for telling everyone about it and favoring them. So thanks for watching. Well, I just looked at what that thing was that I thought that I had a video was. It was just a quick little thing. You didn't even see the titles very well. It sort of sucked. So sorry I mentioned that one. Well, I hope you liked this story, and I hope it was informative enough for what I can remember of doing that. As I said, most of that stuff was during middle school times, and who likes to remember those times? Certainly not me.